Good evening and warm welcome to Formula Racing League Masters of Le Mans Ultimate Season 3 Round 5. We are live at Monza. Apologies for the slightly delayed stream. We've been having technical difficulties all season long this side of the commentary box, so apologies. But I'm with you tonight hopefully, and hopefully you can hear me loud and clear and the stream is running okay for you to follow along the action. So welcome along, hope everyone is doing well, and we're currently witnessing Francesco Adamu just lining up for hopefully one final lap with a chance to find just under a tenth to Johannes Priest, who is currently occupying that provisional pole for the hypercar category in his Porsche with a 1:36.791. So who can challenge him? Adam Sesplar is 4 tenths off, Asif Vesely as well in 4 for the Ferrari, and Benot in just over half a second behind. So fairly competitive up front. The first couple of rows, it's all to play for. Chris Jones in the YouTube chat was just about to say no mic, but lovely to hear you. Yeah, hopefully you can hear me okay, Smiley. Just let me know if it's a bit crackly. I've been having issues the last couple of weeks with all sorts really. It's been a bit of a a strange few weeks, to be honest, with work and family and technical issues, so it's been very busy. Francesco Adamu gone purple in that first sector, just under 2 tenths quicker. So can he find it in the middle sectors? He goes a little bit wide through the second Lesmo. Dale Kelleher, welcome along. Good to have you with us. So under the bridge he goes, Francesco Adamu. It was 2 tenths. Oh, yeah, as I suspected, that the 2 Lesmo corners really has messed up Francesco's lap time, over half a second off. So I don't think he's going to be challenging Johannes Priest this time around. Johannes Priest, where is he? Oh, he's just saw a tyre flying off there. That wasn't from the Porsche car. Not sure who that was. So Adam Sesplar's in the pits. Martin Vesely's still going as well, but he's 7 tenths off in the first sector. Vesely's in the box, Dominic Illinger's in the box, McCormack's in. So this is pretty much a pole position confirmed for Johannes Priest, because Adamu has also boxed. So that is the qualification set for the hypercars, and we now switch our attention to the GT3 category. And what we'll do a full rundown in 9 minutes time of the hypercar category. And in fact, what I'll do is just bring up the GT3s on your screen so we can focus on those. Yep. So we're on board with Kasperzik at the moment, as you can see in the background. Plenty of spray and dust, the window wipers going, the headlights are on. It's tricky conditions here at Monza. Rudy Vermeulen, Patrick Dern, Adam Sharp, Peter Davidson all making their way around. Joseph Chadder, a returning driver from last season in the Porsche. Martin Kravach as well. Johnny Gilchrist. So all these GT3 drivers just making their way around, trying to get the tyre temp up in those tyres, getting the brakes up to an optimal temp, and just getting the car in a good spot to have a few flying laps, a few bites of the cherry for the front row here at Monza. Daniel McCutcheon, that's a name I've not seen in a while. How you doing, Danny? So Kasperzik's going to be the first driver across the line. Now you might also wonder why we haven't got no onboard shots. There is again one of the many technical difficulties at the moment with Le Mans Ultimate is the onboard cameras are not quite working as intended, or not that I can get working anyway. So we're just going to be doing with the TV cameras tonight. So no onboard shots, but that is a lovely, that's not a word, a lovely livery there for Kasperzik with the Azatec sponsorship on that BMW GT3 M4 Evo. So into the first chicane, Variante chicane, tackles it fairly nicely, does Kasperzik. See the glowing brakes of the BMW. So into the first Lesmo, again fairly conservative, not throwing it in there, a little bit of rear end slippage going on. Into the second Lesmo, Again, nice bit of curve, and having to do quite a heavy correction on the wheel, counter steering there to keep that BMW straight. I think he did take quite a fairly sizable chunk out of that inside curve, and now making the way down up to Variante Ascari. Ascari, real tricky part of the track. Flicking the car left, flicking the car right, back left, trying to avoid too much curb. But he, again, fairly conservative there. But he will be the first driver across the line. Good to hear, Danny. Yeah, it's been yes, tends to happen over summer. People are busy doing stuff, but autumn is approaching. Winter is coming, as they say, and I'm sure sim racing will pick back up a little bit. People, familiar names and faces will be coming back after their summer holidays. So Kasperzak across the line, it's a 1:55.5. Let's just have a look to see what the other drivers are doing. Rudy Vermeulen across the line, 56.6. Patrick Dens, 56.6 as well. Adam Sharp, 57.9. Joseph Chadder, he's going to come across as well. And he goes provisional pole for 55.1, so 4 tenths quicker than Kasperzak. So those are the two drivers who have been ones to watch out for. Last season we had an absolute season finale showdown between those drivers, and Joseph Chadder been bringing the fight back to Kasperzak here at Monza tonight. Peter Davidson is just coming in, so he's probably had an incident. Nigel Longden's just coming around in the Lamborghini as well. I believe the only Lambo on the grid. So Longden representing Lamborghini, and it's the slowest of the times so far in P9. Gilles Alleman's in the box. Zaranovic is also in the box, as is Davidson. So I guess let's quickly go back on board with Kasperzak, and let's not do that because Kasperzak stopped on track. So probably just adjusting tyre temps potentially here and tyre sets. Kasperzak, that's Kravic going back out. Martin Kravic going back out onto track. He is just 1.4 off pole position of Joseph Chadder. Chadder is just let him go through there as well. So pretty casual start to qualifying for these GT3 so far. Many drivers just not quite getting the car dialed in, I don't think. Rudy Vermeulen, he's still carrying on the initial set of tyres and setup he's got on the car. He's not setting the leaderboard alight though with those sector times. BMW driver Rudy Vermeulen comes around the final corner. Is he going to box or is he going to carry on? He's going to carry on. Currently sitting in 4th, 1.4 off. Is he going to improve that time? He doesn't. Patrick Dens coming in the Aston Martin. Adam Sharp is slowing down. He's just trying to make some space into that first corner. Joseph Chadder is still going. You see the drivers weaving to try and get that tyre temp up. Kasperzak getting some support in the YouTube live chat there. He's back out on track now on his outlap. And Joseph Chadder also on that outlap. Where's Kravic? He's just ahead of him going into Parabolica. So we'll stay on board with Kravic just to see what the sector times are compared to him and Chadder on this. Probably 2 more laps remaining for these drivers. Oh, it's Kravic goes wide. I just took one moment to look at the telemetry. I looked back up and he's spraying dust onto the track, so that's not the optimal line. And Chadder's box as well. So a lot of drivers just not happy with the car, not happy with the conditions, the tyres. Kasperzak's now coming around Parabolic, and you can see how tricky it is. You see how wet it is on track. The wipers are going, the rain is streaming off the windscreen. Kasperzak now starting his flying lap. Let's have a look what his sector time's doing. He's got to beat a 37.4 in sector 1. 37.4 is what Joseph Chadder did. So let's see how he goes into the first corner. Braking pretty decently there, getting the car slowed down, flicking the car right and left onto the power, trying to get the acceleration and the traction down out of the first chicane. Looks pretty good for Kasperzak so far in the BMW. Wipers having an absolute time of their lives there. So let's see what the first sector time is going to say. It's a 37.4 for Chada. For Kasprzyk, it's a 37.6. So he's still just under 3 tenths off that provisional pole from Joseph Chada in the Porsche. Middle sector for Chada was 38.9, just so nearly 39. Let's just see what it's going to be for Kasprzyk. Again, he's struggling with the two Lesmo corners. At Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2 last time around, that looks a bit better. That looks a lot better for Kasprzyk. He might gain a little bit of time there compared to his previous best. We'll see what the sector time does as he heads up towards Ascari. This is 39.7, so again, it's 8 tenths off, so it's not going to be challenging the time of Joseph Chada. But it's going to have one more lap, I would imagine. He's probably going to get enough time to get around Parabolica. And just a reminder, Kravec is sitting 3rd, Rudy Vermeulen 4th, Patrick Den 5th, Gilchrist 6th, Adam Sharp 7th, Bassi 8th, Longden 9th. And Davidson, Aleman and Zoranovic has not yet set a time as Kasprzyk goes very deep at Parabolica. These conditions are really tricky for the drivers, and Joseph Chada is the one who's mastered them at this moment in time. Is Chada out on track? He's not. Kasprzyc's boxing. These conditions are just getting worse and worse for these drivers. Kravec is off as well, and that is the qualifying done for these GT3s. I don't think, or Rudy Vermeulen's carrying on, but he's not setting, again, any lap times to challenge the Porsche in provisional pole. Patrick Den 6 tenths off in the first sector. That is a better sector 1 time, though. It might move him up. He might have a chance at the second row here, Patrick Den. Let's stay on board with the Aston Martin driver because he's he's just over 2.5 tenths off Kravec in 3rd, so he might have an opportunity at 3rd, but the conditions are worsening, so we'll just stick with him to see how this develops as he goes into Ascari. We've got yellow flags being waved yet again in this qualifying session. Sector 2 is a 40.4. Yeah, it's just the conditions. It's just not lending themselves to credible lap time. So it really was about who could get out on track the quickest to set that time. And Joseph Chada managed it. He's going to be your pole sitter tonight on GT3 category at Monza. Yeah, Den's aborting it. I think everyone else is all in the pit. Longden is out, however, and again, Aston Martin, that's a Lamborghini. Big support for Kasprzyk in the YouTube live chat. I've got lots of Kasprzyk friends and family in the live chat. Welcome along, guys. So Longden improves his middle sector, but he's still got a lot of time to find. Even if he wants to challenge Sharp, he's quite a way back. Over 1 second he's got to find to challenge Adam Sharp in 7th. So around Parabolica, see how wet it is. It's ridiculously wet out there tonight. Across the line, does he improve? He does improve, but nowhere near enough to challenge Adam Sharp. So that is the qualifying done. Let's run through this starting grid, shall we? Let's see if we can get this on your screens. So Johannes Priest takes pole position in the hypercar with Francesco Adamu on 2nd place. Set row 2 is Adam Sesplar and Martin Vesely, 3rd and 4th in the Ferraris. Row 3 is Axel Benot and Dominic Illinger for 5th and 6th. Row 4 is Forrest McCormack and Charlie Walker, 7th and 8th for the Alpine. Row 5 is Kiko Garlo and Alex Alfonso. Kiko Garlo, a driver I know very well from ACC. And row 6 is Fabian Karner and Dmitro Yaroshenko for the Ferrari. And row 7 is Stu Rogers and Sami Kell in the Toyota and Ferrari. Row 8, Craig Hill, and then your GT3 pole sitter, Joseph Chada. Kasprzyk Kravich, row 9. Row 10, Rudy Vermeulen and Patrick Dent. And Johnny Gilchrist and Adam Sharp bring up row 11. Row 12, Nigel Longdon and Peter Davidson. And row 13, Gabriel Labassi and Gilles Aliman. Row 14, Liam Kelso and Timo Braun. I don't know if they didn't qualify, did they? And then you got Zoranovic all the way down in 29th on row 15. If they are driving, I don't know if they are. Zoranovic is showing actually. Let's just have a look. So we should have. Just bear with me as the drivers make their way to the grid. So, YouTube live chat, please do drop a like on the video, say hi in the chat. It's always good to have people watching along and commenting along as the race goes along, so it always helps my job a lot easier to engage with you guys. Let me know who you're supporting. Obviously, I know we've got a lot of Kaspersky fans in the live stream tonight, which is great to see. And we've got about just over 10 seconds before the race procedure will start.
Formation lap has started.
So as you can see from the race director, formation lap is now underway. We've looked like we've got damp conditions, but it has stopped raining. So I tell you what, let's just have a real quick look at the tyres. So what are people doing? So we've got wet tyres for Alex Benol in P5. Everyone else is on dry tyres, I believe. So that is a real shock for Axel. I think he's going to be struggling there on the tyres. We don't know what the GT3s are running tyre-wise. I don't have that information at this moment in time. Just trying to do lots of things at once, so bear with me. This is where I need a co-commentator. But anyway, we're about to go racing for the next 1 hour 20 minutes at Monza for Formula Racing League Le Mans Ultimate. Johannes Priest, Francesco Adamu is leading the hypercar field, and then Joseph Chadha leading the GT3s. We're about to go racing. The green flag is about to go. There it is. We're live. We're on board. We're going. And Gilles Aliman has got a great start, but then Adamu's tucked in right behind, and it's almost going to be it's going to be 3 wide into the first corner. It is going to be 2 wide. The yellow Ferrari just tucks in behind, so the side by side into the first corner, and we've got brakes locking. Johannes Priest locks his brakes and it's going to go straight on. He's going to have to get that time. We've got big contact as well. I think Adam Sesplot's got away. We've got big contact. We've got Aston Martin parked up. We've got an Aston Martin Valkyrie parked up somewhere. We've got contact all over the place, but Adamu is leading the field. Adam Sesplot second. Alex Benol, he's on the wet tyres, is third. Vesely's fourth. We're going to try and see heads of tails of that and try and make sense of what's happening. But Kravich is leading the GT3s as well. So what's happened to Joseph Chadha? He's nowhere to be seen. He's all the way, he's last place. Joseph Chadha's had an incident, and we'll try and find what happened. Kaspersky is still going in third, I believe. So the BMW driver and Rudy Vermeulen is up to second. So Kravich and Rudy Vermeulen gaining those places. I've got it looks like Adam Sharp in the background just going wider through the first Lesmo. So GT3 is making the way around. Adamu leading the hypercars. I need to try and work out what happened to various drivers, but there was big contact at the first corner, which is probably not a surprise given the fact that it's Monza, but it didn't look too bad. It looked like it was just racing. But Sesplot is sticking with Adamu for the moment. Vesely is trying to stay with them. Axel Benot is just struggling on those wet tyres. He's going to be boxing, I'd imagine. Is he boxing? He will be, yeah. That's a complete disaster for him. Not what he wanted to do. He's definitely picked the wrong tyre choice there. But down the start-finish straight, let's just keep our eyes on what's happening here. This is Johannes Priest against Dominic Illinger, and we've got the under braking. Johannes Priest is so sketchy under braking there. Was it Illinger? Sorry, it was Dominic Illinger sketchy under braking. And Illinger's now under pressure from McCormack. Is he going to get the move done into the first chicane? He has a look to the inside. He's not close enough. Just going to tuck in behind. Back on board with Adamu, the leader. He is staying out in front. Adamu second, Vesely third, Johannes Priest fourth. Let's just go back to the GT3s as Kravic is still leading. Kasperzik is up to second place now. He's got by Rudy Vermeulen. So Kasperzik on a charge and hunting down Martin Kravic. Gap of just 7 tenths. There's a BMW top three lockout for BMW so far. Rudy Vermeulen third, Patrick Den fourth, Nigel Longden fifth. And where is Joseph Chadder? He's all the way down in 10th place in class. Disaster start for him. Oh, we've got a spinner. We've got a spinner. That was, who is that? I'm just trying to work out, is that Peter Davidson? It is. Peter Davidson spinning at the second Lesmo in the McLaren. And, well, to be fair, Joseph Trella did a great job of avoiding it, but that's not what you wanted to see for Peter. He's down in 10th place. Excel's back out on track in the dry tyre now, but he's all the way down in 16th in class. Cesplar still hunting Adamu, and drivers are sticking with them so far, and Martin Vesely is just about within touching distance of the top two as well. So we've got a top three battle so far. The gap then back to Priest is about 4 seconds. So top three are just etching away a little bit. So let's bring you the top 5 from each category just to make it a little bit clearer for you as to who's leading what. So run down here then. So on board, Francesco Adamu leading the hypercars. Adam Cesplar is in second on your screen right now, and Martin Vesely. So this is the top 3 you can see on your screens right now. You can see that gap to the 4th place man of Johannes Priest. There he is, and then Forrest McCormack in 5th, but under pressure from Charlie Walker. Charlie Walker running in 6th place, trying to get that 5th place off McCormack, and he's going to have an almighty run here into Parabolica. Let's stay on board with this one and see how this develops. Into Parabolica. Cars are looking amazing in the sunshine. It monsters down the inside. Does Walker have a look? Does he get it done? He does. Down the inside nicely. Can he make it stick though? Is McCormack going to get a run as Charlie Walker goes wide? And that will take the place back for McCormack. Thank you very much. That'll be the easiest overtake he's done on track probably tonight. We should see how that goes. But yeah, Dominic Illinger now going to be having a sniff at Charlie Walker. He's in that slipstream, and we've got a Kiko Garlo back there as well in the Peugeot, the wingless Peugeot. Sorry, the Ferrari. That's Alex Alfonso in the Peugeot. Beg your pardon. And just quickly having a look at Vesely, because Vesely is just a little bit closer to second place man Adam Cesplar. And on board with the GT3s as Kasperzik is putting the pressure on Martin Kravic. So down the straight, Kasperzik's going to have an almighty slipstream now. Can he get close enough going into the first corner? Let's find out. He's not close enough this time around, but both taking quite a lot of curve. But you can see how much confident Kasperzik is through the first chicane. Kravic is taking a little bit of dust with him, a little bit of gravel. Just quickly flick back through the rest of the field in GT3 to see how they all survived the first corner that time round. We've got yellow flags out for someone. I don't know who that is for. Apologies. Charlie Walker having another crack at Forrest McCormack. Round 2 for these guys around Parabolica. Side by side. I think Walker's going to have the run. He's going to have the inside to the first chicane as McCormack is almost spinning around. almost lost it, but he kept it under control. And Dominic Illinger was watching that with some popcorn and a Pepsi Max, waiting to see how that developed. And Liam Kelso and Sammy Cow are battling away as well for 12th and 13th. They've got traffic on the left-hand side. Is that? Just trying to work out who that is. Is that? So the BMW of Kelso gets on through. That's Stu Rogers and Yaroshenko back there as well, battling for 13th and 14th. Back on board with Kasprizik within 2 attempts now, back down into the first corner. This is, again, take 2 for these 2 drivers. He looks very close now, but Kravic is going defensive. Defending that line quite nicely there. They're just tucking in behind. It's really good driving from the 2 drivers. Let's just bring you the standings in Hyperclass in full. Just to give you a quick top 10. As we see Kasprizik down the inside, he's having to get out and give the place back. I think he completely misjudged just breaking it. Every time I look at my telemetry and I look away from the screen for 1 minute, something happens on screen. So let's just give you a rundown of the hypercars. So as I said, we know Adamu is leading. He's now got a gap to 1.7. So, well, it was 1.7, it's now 1.3. Adam Sesplar in P2. Vesely 8 tenths back from Sesplar. So top 3 developing nicely. Johannes Priest, he's still trying to catch these guys. P4 for Johannes, 2.7 back now to Vesely. And then they really have dropped 5th place, which is Charlie Walker. We see Charlie Walker and McCormack. I think the yellow flag was for McCormack because McCormack's down in 9th now. But Walker sitting in 5th place, but he is 10 seconds off the lead. Illinger is 6th. Kiko Garlo is 7th. Alex Alfonso 8th. McCormack 9th. And Liam Kelso coming round the second Lesmo in P10. Sammy Cow is 11th. D. Rogers 12th. Yaroshenko 13th. And Craig Hill 14th. And Fabio Carner in 15th. We still have Alex. No, Alex is retired. I was about to say Alex is the last running car, but he's not. Fabian Carner is the last running hypercar in 15th place. So let's then switch our attention to GT3. And as we go on board with Kravic, and you can see how close it is between him and Kasprizik. So these two are hopefully going to have a battle like this for the next 1 hour and 9 minutes. That will be very exciting for me if that happens. So Kravic and Kasprizik. Let's just see what happens here before I carry on flicking through the field. Doesn't have a look this time. Kasprizik just tucks in behind. So while that happens, let's have a look at Patrick Den running in 3rd. He's 2.4 of this. Is the Aston Martin driver just looking for the BMWs up ahead to make a mistake potentially and just take advantage of that. Rudi Vermeulen was sitting in 3rd but lost out to the Aston Martin driver, and he's now under severe pressure from Nigel Longdon in 5th. Longdon in the Lamborghini having an absolute cracking race. He's running 5th, and they've got a bit of hypercar traffic coming through as well, so it's got to be careful of that as they almost go, oh, there's a hypercar, there's a little bit of left and right, a little bit of jinxing, a little bit of dancing on the straight there to get by. All this hypercar, this is the beauty of multi-class racing. Look at this, look at all the hypercars coming through now. Beautiful shot into Ascari. As we see Nigel Longdon in the fantastic livery, Women Driven by Dreams. And Gabriella Bassi running in 6th, Joseph Chadder in 7th on a recovery drive, Adam Sharp 8th, Johnny Gilchrist 9th, and Peter Davison 10th after he spun earlier on. Jules Alleman and Zoranovic are not running. So that is your run through of the field. And yeah, let me know what you think to the first 10 minutes or so. That was an absolute cracking opening 10 minutes, and this is a cracking battle as Kasprizik and Kravic is side by side, and they've got a hypercar of I think that is Johannes Priest in the background. So Johannes Priest is going to get an opportunity now to glide past them on the straight with the power of the hypercar, and Kasprizik and Kravic are going to be side by side into the first chicane surely. Kasperzik going to look to the inside. Kravitz would look to shut him off, I would imagine. He won't want him on the inside. But Kasperzik is there. Can he get it done under braking? Is he close enough? I think it's just a little bit far back, but he's gone for it. Kasperzik has gone for it over the curb. Doesn't leave enough room, and a fantastic move. Kasperzik takes the lead of the race in GT3. That was sublime racing from the pair of them. It was very hard racing, but fair racing from the pair of them. And Kravitz probably just thinking, there is enough time in this race to come back. You know, I might lose this battle, but it might not lose the war with 1 hour 7 minutes remaining. So Kravitz has just got to settle back down. He's just got to let this traffic come through, because this is where you can lose and gain time when you are got other category of cars coming through. So you just got to settle down a little bit now, manage the traffic, and just watch the gaps. So Kasperzik already got that gap over to a second. Just dealing with the traffic, isn't he? Ferrari, 51 Ferrari, so close on the exit there. You can see in the background the Aston Martin Patrick Den coming through, more hypercars. And Adam Sesplat and Adamu, they're now side by side as well. We've just seen the battle and the lead change in GT3. Are we going to witness the same in hypercar? We have Adam Sesplat is ahead, but the side by side again, they don't make contact. It's a fantastic racing, a little bit of contact, but we don't mind that. Sesplat under traction, fantastic exit, but now Adamu is going to have the outside. This is brilliant. They're still side by side. Who's going to be the earliest on the brakes? Who's going to be the first on the brakes? Who's going to be the last on the brakes? There's a little bit of touching again. Sesplat on the inside. Oh, he's had to go over. Adamu's had to avoid the sausage curb and go over. I think that's fair. I think that's fair racing. But Vasili's also in there as well. He's joined the fight. It's a three-way battle for the lead of the race here. So he's now side by side into the second left, but down the inside. Martin Vasily takes second place. Oh, Francesco Adamu was looking to take first, and now he finds himself in third. Brilliant, brilliant racing. Quickly flick down to 5th place in GT3. Gabriele Bassi is putting Rudi Vermeulen under a lot of pressure. So Bassi in the Lamborghini versus BMW, going up to Ascari underneath the bridge. Vermeulen taking the defensive line here into Ascari, flicks back onto the racing line and flicks the BMW in. Lamborghini looking pretty racy, I must admit, for Gabriele Bassi. And he might have a run into Parabolica as we hear the Aston Martin Valkyrie screaming on by. So no move for Bassi. Let's just, sorry, I haven't brought up the driver names, have I, on the screen? There you go. Apologies. You now see who we're watching on screen: Rudi Vermeulen and Gabriele Bassi. The battle for 4th and 5th in class, 19th and 20th overall. As the Lamborghini driver looks to the inside, I think he's just trying to tempt Vermeulen into a bit of a mistake there. That didn't work. So Gabriele Bassi trying all the tricks of the trade. And let's just go quickly back up to the hypercar, because Martin Vasily is on an absolute charge. He's within half a second of Adam Sesplat. So let's just have a look at some of the, what was I going to show you? Positions gained and lost. So this is where we see who's the winners and losers from the first 20 odd minutes here. So Sesplat and Vesely both up 2 positions each. Adamu and Priest, who were the front row sitters, down 1 and 3 each. Illinger is where he was. Walker up 3 places, and Kelso's up 17, because he did start from the back of the field in hypercar, but nonetheless still making good pace, Liam Kelso. Over in GT3, let's see if we can bring that up. GT3 positions gained and lost. So Kaspatic, Kravic and Den all at 190, and Bassi up 5. Gabriel Bassi, as I said, he's still battling away with Rudy Vermeulen, but he's up 5 already, and he's trying to make it 6 positions gained in the first 20 minutes. He's going to go now for the inside, down into the first corner, under braking. Can the Lamborghini do it? He does. I think he's got this done pretty. Is he going to squeeze him on the outside? No, he's got the move done. Brilliant racing from the pair of them. Rudy Vermeulen didn't put too much of a fight there. Not much he could do. But Gabriel Bassi now up 6 places. And then you can see Joseph Chadha running in 6th. Is down 6. He was your pole sitter in GT3, and there he is running. He's now got a 1.2 second gap to Rudy Vermeulen. So that is your positions gained and lost. And let's have a quick look at the energy remaining for the hypercars. And as we can see there, around about 47% each for Cesplar and Vesely. 53 for Priest. Priest, he's now closed the gap, actually, to the leaders to 2.2 seconds. This top 3 scrap has left the door ajar for Johannes Priest, and the advantage he's got, he might even have an extra lap than these guys. So if he can go an extra lap here compared to the top 3 when it comes to the pit stop phase and get that clean air, he could make an almighty overcut. We shall see how the pit stops develop. So that's energy remaining, and that's just a confirmation there of all the tyres. Everyone's on dry tyres at this moment in time. A number of stops, everyone is showing us 0, apart from Benot, who had to change his tyres because he started up the tyres at the start of the race on wet tyres. So that is your state of play as we just approach 1 hour remaining, 20 minutes gone in this race, and I'll be back with you in a few moments' time. And I'm back with you, just grabbing a quick refreshment as my my water ran low. Barry Gibbons in the live chat. Don't remember Murray Walker taking a tea break mid-race. I am not Murray Walker, so I'm a trendsetter. I can take a break. So top 5 of either category. Adam Sespelar leading Vesely, to Adamu in 3rd, Priest 4th, Walker 5th. Over in GT3, Kasprizik is leading with a 4.6 second gap to Kravic. Patrick Den, the Aston Martin, still running in 3rd. Bassi up to 4th, and Joseph Chadder has now crept into that top 5. And let's just have a look to see where we are with some battles on track. Most drivers are all just stabilising the gaps. Yaroshenko just within a second of P11 off Sami Cow. He's making some headway into that gap. The 2 Ferraris over it in 11th and 12th. GT3 gaps are all over a second separated, so no real battles going on there at the moment. I think a lot of drivers are just kind of getting over that initial 20 minutes of thunderous racing we had. As I look at Alex Alfonso in the Peugeot, is looking quite racy behind 7th place man Kiko Garlo. I've had many battles on track with Kiko Garlo and over an ACC, really good driver. And the wingless Peugeot looking quite nippy in the hands of Alex. I need to look back at your live stream, Chris, and have a watch, see how you got on. I haven't actually checked the stream out, to be honest. I was on holiday last week, had a horrendous drive home. Busy weekend, and yeah, it's been a very busy few weeks. Starting a new job takes a lot out of you. So how far away are we approaching the pit stops? Because 34% remaining, so another 20 odd minutes, maybe 15 minutes away from the pit stops, and this is where I think the pit stops are going to really shake things up, because I think Johannes Priest, he's got an opportunity. Saying that, however, his gap has dropped to 4.3. It was down to about 2 seconds when Sespelar, Vesely and Adamu were all battling. So I think Priest is just struggling on an outright pace once the drivers are not scrapping with themselves. I think, you know, once they're just concentrating on the corners and the apexes and the braking and the exits, all that jazz for a lap time, Priest just doesn't seem to have the outright pace, because it's just dropping back now. 4.7. Vesely 2 seconds back to Sespelar as well. So Adam Sespelar, really impressive performance so far, but the pit stops really can make a difference. So we'll see how those develop in around 10 to 15 minutes time. Quickly go on board with Kiko Garlo, because he and Alfonso's got by him into Parabolica. So position change there in 7th and 8th place for Alfonso and Garlo. And Yaroshenko is side by side with Sami Cow through Parabolica. The 2 Ferraris, they've got a Joseph Chadder of the Porsche to contend with as well. They just about avoid the Porsche. And now in the slipstream is Sami Cow. Can he get back by Yaroshenko? As they move around some moving chicanes of the GT3s, Cow just a little bit too far back to make a move, and Yaroshenko keeps 11th place. And we've got a spinner. We have a spinner. Who was that? Was that Adam Sharp? No, it wasn't. I'm just trying to find out who that was. That's potentially Rudy Vermeulen. I saw a GT3, and unfortunately my overlay doesn't tell me who's actually gone off, so it's not the most easiest of jobs for me to find out who that was. Apologies. Nigel Longdon was showing some quite impressive pace earlier on, but he's now down to 8th place. He's dropped off 2.6 compared to Adam Sharp. So GT3 is pretty spread out, lots of multiple second gap between everyone. Again, top 5 overall is not actually looking too bad. I mean, Kravich is now 7 seconds off Kashprzak. Kashprzak is absolutely flying out there up front in the BMW. See the order there in GT3 with Kashprzak, Kravich, Den, Bassi, Chadder, Vermeulen, Sharp, Longdon, Gilchrist and Davidson. 10 runners remaining in GT3. And the hypercar is Cesblar, Vesely, Adamu, Priest and Walker, and Adamu is within a second of Martin Vesely. Battle for second position. You can see Priest just in the background there, 4.8, so he's still hanging on to the pace roughly of Adam Cesblar, but if he's thinking about an undercut or an overcut, Priest, he needs to start getting that hammer down, to quote Bono and Lewis Hamilton, because the pit stops are fast approaching, and this is the time where you want to start closing that gap just to put a bit of pressure on the driver up ahead. Let's have a quick look at Fabian Carner, a driver we've not looked at yet, and also with Stu Rogers, because these two are battling for 13th and 14th in class. Fabian Carner is just about closing in on Mr. Stu Rogers, going into the first corner. Heavy braking, a little bit of rear locking there for Fabian. Adamu still hunting down Vesely. So this, just starting to see a bit of a three-way battle here for second, third and fourth. Priest has definitely joined the rear of Adamu. Now this is certainly going to help Adam Cesblar's case for victory tonight, because he's got a gap of 3.4 to Vesely. Now if Adamu and Priest are going to be starting to get held up, this might be interesting, but you know, this is what I said just a moment ago about starting to push as the pit window approaches, and Priest might just be heeding that advice and just starting to put the pressure on Adamu. So a lot closer now is Priest. Actually really had to stomp on the brakes to avoid the GT3, and now all pretty much bunched up. So Priest has got the exit nicely. He's going to close up behind Adamu. Is he? No. Oh yes, maybe. It's 3 tenths. So literally 8 temps separating second, third and fourth here. And they've got GT3 traffic to contend with. Vesely, I think, is struggling with the pace now a little bit as he gets by the BMW into the first Lesbo, and that's going to compromise Adamu and Priest. Adamu and Priest now get on by, so just a little bit of a half a second gain there for Vesely. A little bit more breathing space, and that is going to put Priest. That's going to put Adamu under pressure with Priest. Yellow flags out as well for somebody out there. Just quickly flip on board the GT3s because Gabriele Bassi is absolutely flying. It's closed the gap up to Patrick Den in third, so the battle for the final podium session in GT3 as the leading class of hypercars come flying on through. Gabriele Bassi is absolutely flying tonight, showing some really strong pace, and he's just lost a little bit of time there actually to the Aston Martin, but just keep our eyes on that battle as that develops. And let's quickly go back to the hypercars as we missed it into the first corner as Priest has now got a very good exit on Adamu. Is Adamu going to be under pressure into the first chicane? Yes, he is. What's he going to do? Is he going to defend? They've got a BMW on the right hand side, so they're both going to have to take the same line. Priest is looking to the inside, they're side by side. Down the inside, Johannes Priest goes to Porsche driver. Can he get the move done? Adamu comes back, they're still side by side, a little bit of contact, but it's great racing from the pair of them. Priest has got ahead, has he got? Yes, he has, into the first Lesbo. Johannes Priest takes third position and Adamu loses yet again. That is the second time in this race. Adamu has lost out through the first Lesbo and the first chicane at Seconda Variante. So, it's just, if you get that exit wrong, under traction and that guy behind just has a run on you, it's just, you put yourself under a huge amount of pressure. And Adamu down into fourth now. Priest, he's a second away from Vesely after all of that battling. Cesplar's extending that gap to almost 4 seconds now, so this is certainly helping Cesplar. Vesely just up ahead. Let's have a look at the energy remaining. Let's have a look. So 14% of these pit stops are approaching us. And so it's going to get a little bit tasty. Kasperzik lead out in front is 8 seconds now to Kravec. So just a sublime job from Kasperzik. Kravec going along nicely. 5 second gap to Patrick Den, and Bassi is caught well up. He's looking to the inside. I tell you, he's going to be my driver of the day so far. Gabriele Bassi is flying out there in the Lamborghini. Lamborghini versus Aston Martin Evo. Up to the second chicane. It's the Lamborghini driver going to force his way to the inside as the Aston Martin going to defend. Bassi, is he going to have a look? He has a look now. He has a look. Is he going for it? He's going for it. Down the inside he goes. The Lamborghini. Oh, he's gone over the sausage curb, and Den drove brilliantly, but the exit is phenomenal from Bassi. Is he going to get the inside to the first Lesbo? He is. The Lamborghini of Gabriele Bassi flies on through and takes third place in the GT3 category here at Monza. Brilliant racing from the pair of them. Patrick Den just looking to stick with him to try and get that slipstream back down into Parabolica and out of Parabolica. So he's got to try and stick with him as the Ferrari having to really get some steering lock on there to avoid the Aston Martin on the exit of Ascari. So under 4 tenths. It's good under braking. The Aston Martin really good under braking there into Parabolica, much quicker through there than Bassi. So you're going to have a nice slipstream here. It's the Aston Martin. Is it going to be a reversal of what we've just seen in the lap prior? Battle for third place on your screens with GT3. So Bassi going defensive down the inside, Aston Martin on the right hand side, both braking pretty much at the same time. Gabriele Bassi got a good braking, got the car turned in, the Aston Martin nicely turned in as well. Under traction, the Lamborghini just snapping a little bit under traction, but good enough, good enough. And it's a good exit actually, really, considering. I think Den was probably a little bit conservative under traction there. As the BMW hypercar just looking to get by as well before the chicane. As the BMW, oh, there's almost contact. There is almost contact with Gabriele Bassi. The BMW, is that Fabian Carner? No, it isn't. Just trying to work out who that was. It was Liam Calso. Liam Calso almost ruining the race for Gabriele Bassi. I don't know how close that was, but it looked close from the camera angle I was looking at. And just going back, so while Den and Bassi have been battling, you might have noticed the blue Porsche of Joseph Chadder running in 5th, just closing up now. So he's now got the Aston Martin in his sights. Just over half a second going through Ascari. I'm going to quickly flick back to Francesco Adamu as well, because he's going through up into the second chicane and he's hunting down Johannes Priest, trying to retake that 3rd position off him. Mikel and Yaroshenko battling for 9th and 10th, the two Ferraris. Joseph Chadder. Here we go. Now what's happened to Vesely? Vesely, I think he's made a mistake because he's under pressure from Johannes Priest. Into Parabolica they go. Vesely, Priest, Adamu battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th at Monza as Vesely goes a little bit wide, but I think he's okay. He's okay with that. Just it was a tad wide. A whisker wide, as they say. So this is your 2nd, 3rd and 4th on your screens. Adamu will be watching this with interest to see how these two get on into the first chicane, into turn 1. How they're looking under braking. Priest was just a bit conservative, trying to. The Ferrari of Vesely was just looking a little bit sketchy. Gap to Cesplot 5.6 now. This is helping Adam out in front. They've got this. I think that's McCormack in the. It's not McCormack. It's Davidson. Sorry, Peter Davidson last place there. The McLaren GT3 driver just getting on through. You've got by him. So again, Vesely just a little bit of breathing space to Priest. Adamu and Priest can't be separated at this moment in time. Energy remaining for the pair of them. 4% for Cessplar and Vesely. Priest and Adamu 7 and 9%. Adamu 9%. So Priest has definitely used a lot more energy in catching this pack up, as we see Vesely just lock a tyre ever so slightly. So Adamu is definitely going to have enough for another lap here, I think, over Cessplar and Vesely. Cessplar will be too far ahead to make a difference, I think, but Vesely, Adamu might have an opportunity here, as will Priest. So is Vesely going to box this lap? I don't think he will. One more lap, I think. No, he doesn't. So Cessplar and Vesely box. Adamu. Oh, sorry. Adamu and Priest carry on. My camera control's really messed up there. So, as I predicted, Priest and Adamu have got the energy storage to continue. So Priest will be boxing this lap. Will Adamu have enough to get another one in? I don't think he will. I think they'll both be boxing, but this is where we need to keep our eyes on now. Where does Martin Vesely come out? Alfonso's also continued. Garlo's boxing. Dominic Illinger's in the box. And you see them stopped there. As that is Cessplar now making his way out. As my camera controls have also just messed up. I had to avoid that car coming in there. So that is Vesely. He's now leaving his box. So we need to see how that develops between, this is the battle really to watch out for. Martin Vesely coming out of the pit, he's now out back onto track, and we're expecting Priest and Adamu, who are currently your race leaders but they have not boxed, how this is going to play out. Let's just keep our eyes on this. So Adamu having a look down the inside of Johannes Priest. Now who's going to box? Has Adamu got enough to go over that? No, they're both boxing. Now under braking, don't crash into each other guys, watch the pit limiter. So who can get the quickest pit stop done between Priest and Adamu? And the bigger question is, where is Vesely? We're expecting Adam Sesplar to completely retake the lead of the race. Alex Alfonso is likely to be boxing as well. He will be, as will Liam Kelso. So there goes Alfonso into the pit lane. The BMW of Kelso will be coming in as well. Sesplar just coming through a Scari, as is Vesely. I tell you what, actually, oh no, it's just looking at the gap between Sesplar and Vesely, but it's 6.6 seconds. So Adamu and Priest, where are they? Priest has now got going again. Priest has now got going. Where is Adamu? Is he moving yet? He's not moving. So Priest has gone on by. He's now moving now. So they're both moving, and here comes Martin Vesely down past Parabolica through the start finish straight. Where is he going to emerge compared to Priest and Adamu? There they go. There they go. So no change. It was as you were. It wasn't the overcut or the undercut as I predicted. It's as you were in hypercar category. Adam Sesplar leads this race. Martin Vesely second. Priest is third, and Adamu fourth. Karna is fifth, but not yet boxed. Now, I was just wondering why Priest and Adamu's energy storage was showing as only 4%, but it's because I haven't gone through a timing screen. So Adamu is 67%, Priest 74%. We've got the other flags out as well, as with the GT3s are now boxing. So Kasprizik is in the box, Den's coming in. All the GT3s are all coming in at pretty much the same time. So let's just keep our eyes on this. So Kasprizik now leaving. Peter Davidson's the only GT3 still on track, and as I say that, he comes into the pit lane. So Kasprizik back out and retakes the lead of GT3. Kravic is out in second. Bassi out in third. Tell you what, the gap to Bassi and Kravic is close. 1.5 seconds between those two. So Bassi might even catch Kravic for second place here. We'll see how that goes. Den is fourth, and Joseph Chada is coming out in fifth. So as you were in GT3, and the gaps out in front. Sorry, bring you back up the timings. Apologies. We can see Fabian Karna in the pits there for hypercar, but Sesplar, Vesely, Priest, and Adamu. 10 seconds is the gap between Sesplar and Adamu. It's only 1.1 seconds between Priest and Adamu. So we're just over half an hour remaining in this race. Pit stops have just been done. We're now racing to the end, weather forecast depending. We'll see how it develops. Be back with you in a few moments' time. I'm back with you, and on your screens now you've currently got the mid-race standings. This is the standings as it is at this moment in time. Adam Sesblar is leading with 30 minutes remaining. Martin Vesely in second place, and on your screen you've got Johannes Priest putting him under almighty pressure. The battle for second and third. Francesco Adamu in fourth. Alex Alfonso is fifth. Kiko Garlo 6th, Liam Kelso 7th, Sami Kel 8th, Dmitro Yaroshenko 9th, and Dominic Illinger is 10th. And over in GT3, current race standings, Kasprzyk leading, Kravic is second, Bassi is third, 2.6 seconds now behind Kravic, Patrick Den fourth, Joseph Chadder fifth in the blue Porsche there, Adam Sharp sixth, Nigel Longden seventh, Rudy Mueller eighth, Johnny Gilchrist ninth, Peter Davison 10th. That is your top 10 in GT3. Now, while that was going on, let me just bring you back up. What's happened in Hypercar? Francesco Adamu has got on by Vesely and Priest. So I think this Priest has got a smashed up car. He's boxing and he's struggling to get that car. It is. Apologies for missing that live on stream. I was doing through the racing results as they were, and we've missed what's happened there. But Johannes Priest has had an incident. I think him and Vesely's come together, and that has allowed Francesco Adamu to take second position. Alex Alfonso has moved up to fourth. Vesely's third. He is 3 seconds behind Adamu, so he's obviously had an incident there. Vesely and Priest coming together, that is a real shame for Johannes Priest. Was your pole sitter tonight, and he's just dropping down the order. You can see there he's in the pit currently getting repairs. A 12.8 second lead for Adam Sesblar. Kasprzyk is enjoying a 14.7 second lead over GT3. The complete control for the BMW driver Kasprzyk. Quickly look at Dominic Illinger, because he is just catching Dmitro Yaroshenko. Battle in 8th and 9th. So it's confirmation that Johannes Priest has retired from the race. That is a real shame for Johannes. However, one door closes, another opens, and Alex Alfonso moving up to fourth. Everyone's moving up one place. Dominic Illinger and Yaroshenko. Illinger looking to get through the door that's opening potentially against Yaroshenko as they go by Joseph Chadder. And your screens, you should see 5 of each respective category there and the respective gaps to the leader. Gap between Adamu and Sespel just come down a little bit. Oh, I should say that's gone back up to 10 seconds now. Illinger and Yaroshenko, close battle on track at this moment in time. Down, start, finish straight, both taking different lines, passing that Lamborghini. So Illinger, is he going to make a move to the inside? No, he's got the BMW in front as well. That is going by. Illinger, Yaroshenko dispatches Kralic easily, as you would expect, into the second chicane. How close is Illinger? To the inside, he has a look, under braking, he locks his tyres and he backs out of it. Yaroshenko keeps 8th position, the Ferrari driver, Ferrari versus Cadillac. Illinger close again to the second Lesmo. Can he get a good run up to Ascari? Oh, it's a bit wide from Illinger, kicking up some gravel, but he still is tucked up behind Yaroshenko. Up to Parabolica they go. Who can get the better exit? It's the Cadillac just a little bit wily under braking there. Tighter line through Parabolica. I think Illinger's got an absolutely fantastic exit. They're now going to be side by side. I think Illinger's going to get this move done, but Yaroshenko's going to have the inside into the first chicane. And Illinger pulls ahead into 8th place, but as I said, Yaroshenko is still there, might still get him back under braking. He backs out of it, he concedes the position, and Illinger moves up to 8th place. Great racing between the pair of them two. Out in front, the gap down to 8.3. So Adamu's pace is, now he's in clean air, it's actually pretty impressive. Last lap compared to Stefblar. I've just lost. I think he was 1.4 seconds quicker. Quick walk over in GT3, Joseph Chandler just under a second now to Patrick down the Aston Martin, coming through Lesmo 1 and 2. As Vesely makes his way through them two in the middle of those. And there's your GT3 standings as well for the full grid, all 10 runners in GT3. Yes, we have yellow flags, and that is a hypercar, I believe, parked, and that is Craig Hill. He is parked on the exit of Ascari, the Valkyrie. Craig Hill currently occupying 11th position. Rogers is a lap down. Yeah, he is a lap down, so no position lost for Craig Hill, but He's got a lot of damage, so he might. Yeah. Has he got damage? I think he's. Yeah, he has, hasn't he? Off he goes into the pits to get that repaired. Stu Rogers might find himself unlapping himself there, the Toyota driver. Chadder and Den. There's battle developing for fourth and fifth, as we just creep under 20 minutes remaining in this race. Chris Jones, I ordered rain. Where is rain? Not too sure. I was expecting rain. We've got bright sunshine here at Monza, so I don't know if this rain is going to be coming. I think it's going to be. If it does, it's going to be very late on, and the drivers might decide just to risk it on dry tyres. But at the moment, it doesn't look like it's going to, does it? Gap in the hypercars, interesting, 6.4 seconds now. So Adamu is showing some good pace compared to Sespla. He's certainly getting that gap down. 5.5 now. Is Sespla just coasting, or is this raw pace from Adamu? Energy is pretty much evenly matched, 40 and 39% respectively, so it's not a difference in energy storage and usage there. So this could just be raw pace of Adamu. And I don't know if Sespla has just been driving a little bit conservatively. The gap was 10 seconds. The gap was 10 seconds. Yeah, let's not forget that. It was 10 seconds at one point. You will see that now. It's 6.5 this lap. So he might just be looking at that gap and thinking, might need us to refocus and get back dialed in and just increase the pace by a few tenths per lap. Keep an eye on that gap. I mean, out in front, the gap is no concern for Kasprzyk. 18.5 seconds, the gap between him and Kravic. Kasprzyk is just in complete control. That gap's just getting bigger, lap after lap. Dominic Illinger dispatched Dmitry Yaroshenko a few laps ago, and now he's looking to dispatch Sami Cow, the Ferrari driver. They've got a GT3 just avoiding the first chicane there. So Illinger showing some impressive pace in the second half of this race. Was 10th, was 9th, now 8th, and looking to take 7th for Dominic. And he's quickly gone on board with Joseph Chadder. And the battle for 4th position with Patrick Den, the Aston Martin Evo driver. The gap is now under half a second as they go through Ascari. Chadder, who was the pole sitter in GT3, had a lap 1 incident and found himself pretty much down the order. This is a recovery drive. And 4th position would be a good recovery for Joseph Chadder, as he's got a real good run here. This could be Joseph making a move on Patrick. Porsche versus Aston Martin. Joseph in the Porsche, Patrick in the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin impressive straight line speed compared to the Porsche, as you would expect. And under braking, the Porsche closing up as you would also expect, but not close enough to make a move on the Aston Martin. But under traction there, the Porsche is trying to get the power down. That's where the Porsche is mighty impressive under traction. This is the closest battle on track, and you can see why, because Chadder is side by side with Den through the second left. He's got the inside, the Porsche driver's got the inside line, and he takes 4th position. That is Joseph Chadder up to 4th, gets by Patrick Den. Great racing from the pair alone. Den won't be looking to give it up. You can get probably back in the slipstream of the Porsche, through Ascari, down into Parabolica, see how close he can stick with him. Oh, he's gone wide. He's gone wide though, Patrick Dent. Tighter line though in the entry of Parabolica for the Aston Martin driver, and as a result of that, he's gone wide, but managed to avoid the gravel on the exit. But he's now lost time to the Porsche through Parabolica, and Joseph Challis should get through turn 1 in 4th position. What else have we got going on? Gap, Adamir and Cessplat, 5.6 again. Just stabilised the last couple of laps with 14 minutes remaining. Bassi in the battle for second. So he was about 2.5 seconds behind in the last 10 minutes, and he's got that down to 1 second. So Kravitz just starting to come under pressure as well from the Lamborghini behind of Bassi. Gap between Cessplat and Adamir now 4.1 seconds. He really is taking a chunk out of this lead. Adamir, 12.5 minutes remaining. Is he going to have enough pace to catch up? I'm going to get a bit of a grandstand finish here, ladies and gentlemen. I think we might do. It's under 4 seconds now. That time is it's yo-yoing in as they go through the various corners. 4.1, 4.2. But it was 5.5 seconds last lap, so it's another second taken out. And I think Adamir's Cessplat's just been held up by a GT3 going through the second chicane. He has. Gap has come. It was, as I said, it was 10 seconds at one point, and it's now looking at a 3-second gap between first and second. Cessplat really is going to start seeing Francesco Adamir in his rear view mirror shortly as they get onto the straight and going in. Well, look, we can probably see him now actually going into Ascari, and again he's going to catch an Aston Martin through Ascari. It's going to cost him time. I think it's Patrick Dent. Because Adamir is absolutely flying. Is Cessplat, has he underfueled? Has he got an issue? But either way, this gap is just diminishing in front of our eyes. Stick on board for a lap with Adam Cessplat to see how he's dealing with this pressure that's appearing behind him from Francesco Adamir. can see that gap visibly getting smaller and smaller, corner by corner. I just don't think he's got the raw pace. I think you know, as soon as Adamu's got dispatched Priest and Vesely, I think he's just had that outright pace in clean air. 1.6 now on the straight. At this rate, he's going to catch him into turn 1, probably next lap. As again, Cesplar is going to be caught up in GT3 traffic for Ascari. He's been so unlucky with the GT3 traffic. And I said next lap, it might even be this lap. Well, technically next lap, I suppose. It's not crossed the start-finish line, have they? And again, GT3 traffic. But this time, Adam is going to be the one getting held up a little bit through Parabolica. And that's just given Cesplar a little bit of breathing space. But this is incredible from Francesco Adamu. He's taking a huge chunk out of that 10-second gap, or whatever it was, around about 10-15 minutes ago. And he's effectively going to have 9 minutes to win this race, because he's going to be right up to the gearbox of that yellow Ferrari, and you can see now it's just over half a second. In terms of energy, Chris Jones, they're both the same, 22% the same, so it's just outright pace here. They should have enough to get to the end, shouldn't they, with 20-odd%. The only thing I could maybe think of is, are they... No, they should have enough. They should have enough. I know the guys in 3rd, 4th and 5th will have an extra lap on them, I'd imagine, but they should still get to the end. Gap now, 3/10. This is incredible. One hour and 10 minutes of racing here at Monza, and we're down to the final 8 minutes. We've got a battle for the lead. It's on your screens live right now. Adam Cesplar, Francesco Adamu heading towards Parabolica, and look how close Adamu is. Now, is he going to be able to get a move done into the first chicane? Is Cesplar going to go defensive? I think we're going to find out. Adam is having a look. I think that's just a bit of a try and put Cesplar off under braking. It was a bit of a sneaky letting you know I'm here. Car ahead of him has gone and dipped the tyre into the gravel. That's a GT3. The flashing lights of Adam Cesplar. He's terrified of these GT3 traffic. He's been so unlucky the last 3 or 4 laps. He's definitely lost time because of it. Adamu hasn't compared. They get by the BMW into the second chicane. Again, another cheeky look from Adamu into the second Lesmo, and they now head down towards Ascari, down the hill, under the bridge. Gap under 2/10. Adamu is going to have another cheeky look to try and put Cesplar off. No, he's just going to tuck him behind, follow him through Ascari, flicking the car left, going right, full throttle on the exit, all about the exit down into Parabolica, and I think Adamu took a lot more speed through the exit there. Yeah, you can see that with the gap and the slipstream. So Adamu, is he going to make a move into Parabolica? Is he going to sit behind and try and get it done into turn 1 instead? He's going to sit behind. Who gets the better exit out of Parabolica? They're so close. This is incredible. I can't believe this gap's come down. 6.5 minutes remaining here on Formula Racing League TV. The battle for first position here at Monza, as Adamu is going to try and go to the inside. He is Cesplar going to follow him? He's trying to squeeze him in the middle of the track, but Adamu's got the inside line under braking. Is he going to go for the move? He is. They're going to make contact. They're going to make contact. Cesplar takes evasive action over the sausage curbs. Is he going to concede? He's going to concede. He's going to concede. So he's going to go back on it. His flashing lights. Maybe he thinks that's a bit of a dive bomb. I don't know. I didn't see nothing too wrong with that personally. Maybe he thought Adamu squeezed him too much and he had to take the sausage curb to avoid further contact. But he's not conceded really. You know, Adamu is still with him. It's just, oh, blimey, picked the bones out of that one. Just having a look on the live stream, just to have another look at that into the first chicane as we see these guys going back down to Parabolic, and I'm trying to watch both the replay and the live action. So yeah, so Adamu had the inside. They make contact. Cesplar avoids it, goes over the sausage curb, comes out in front. I looked like he was conceding, and he does. Adamu then takes the lead, flashes his lights. As we see again on the live action how defensive they're going. So Adamu then lets him by again. So Adamu then lets him by. So maybe he thinks, okay, maybe I wasn't the wrong. Maybe it was a bit of a dive bomb. I'm going to let him have it back. So that's what happened there. But either way, it's as he were. Under 5 minutes now. And they've got GT3 traffic coming up. That is P9. That is Johnny Gilchrist they've got. Now he's going to get out of the way before the first Lesmo, as Adamu was so close into the inside there through the first Lesmo. Second Lesmo coming up. Adamu again, you can see how aggressive he is in the rear view mirror, just trying to make himself big and scary and imposing for Adam Cesplar. Now this is what you tune in for on a Friday night. Fantastic racing here. So, yeah, it's just extended by a tenth, but he's still very much there, Adamu. It's no breathing space whatsoever for Adam Cesplar. So, we're going to have 2 more laps, I think. Definitely at least 2 more laps. So now, Adamu to the outside. Cesplar's defending the inside. He's got to get his elbows out. I think Cesplar is just falling behind. In fact, as he's... Oh, they're side by side again. Is he going to squeeze him? He's going to squeeze him. Oh, they leave space. They leave space. It's fantastic racing. Adam Cesplar comes out of turn 1 alive and in front. He's still leading this race, and he's got to defend into the second chicane now. As the commentator is tripping over his words and his tongue. Adamu again taking the defensive inside line. A little bit of brake tyre locking going on there, but still maintains ahead. What exit can Adamu do? It's not. Oh, it's a sneaky look again to try and put Cesplar off into the first Lesmo. Second Lesmo upcoming. What exit can Cesplar do? It's nice, clean entry for the pair of them. Good exit from the pair of them. This is incredible racing with 2 minutes remaining. We've got probably 1 lap after this. This is the battle for first position here on Formula Racing League TV. Round 5. Masters of LMU. What battling and what action we've got on a Friday night. Flashing lights and warning the GT3 drivers, we're coming on through. This is the battle for the lead of the race, gents. Let's not make this any harder. They're both going to catch the Lamborghini through Parabolica, though, the dirty air potentially, as it started raining as well. Have we got wipers going on there? Was that just clearing the dirty air off the rubber off the windscreen? I think it could be raining. I can't quite tell from where I'm sat. But either way, Cesplar's taking that defensive line again. I think it is raining. It's definitely raining. So Adamu on the outside again, turn 1, the side by side again. There's more contact. They're leaving space. Cesplar's all the under traction. Who can get the better exit? They're side by side. They're pretty much even. They're even. Cesplar retakes the lead by an absolute couple of inches potentially. So Adamu now the inside into the second chicane. Who's going to be the bravest? Under braking is going to be Adamu, but Cesplar still kept his nose in there. Adamu goes a little bit wide. Cesplar retakes the lead of the race. First Lesmo, Adamu, he's still trying to hang it around the outside. This is incredible. Now is he going to go down to the inside into the second Lesmo? No, he's just going to tuck him behind. I can't. This is unbelievable. Chris Jones ordered rain. Well, it's being dished up with an absolute feast of action here. Oh, Cesplar and the entry is all 6s and 7s. Somehow he's kept that Ferrari pointing the right direction, but Adamu is all over him like a cheap suit. I was trying to think of a politically correct phrase there. Oh, the parabolic is the checkered flag. I'm going to get. This is going to be it. This is going to be it. Adam Cesplar, what a drive, but what exit has Adamu got? It's going to be an absolute drag race. It's going to be a drag race. Who's got it? Adam Cesplar, what a drive. What an absolute end to the race. Adam Cesplar takes the race win by a whisker. Whew. Unbelievable racing. Adam Cesplar, hats off, and hats off to Francesco Adamu. What a drive. That was phenomenal. Oh, I needed a drink after that. Right. How do we digest that? First of all, let's digest the race results. I've completely missed Kasperzik. Luckily, I haven't missed him crossing the line. In my heat of the moment of Cesplar and Adamu, we're just catching Kasperzik in GT3. Here he comes, flashing the lights. An absolute dominant victory for the BMW driver. Kasperzik takes the checkered flag, wins the GT3 category here at Monza. What a drive, 26-second gap to Kravic. He's managed to fight off the charging Gabriele Bassi and will take second position. Great race for Martin Kravic. Cross the line for him. Lamborghini driver Gabriele Bassi, fantastic race, probably one of my drivers of the day without a shadow of a doubt. Great charge up the field and takes the podium spot in GT3. Joseph Chada will be disappointed with fourth, but he'll be disappointed, but he'll be happy that he's got back to fourth position. So let's bring you the full race results, shall we? Okay, so hypercar. Hang on. That's qualifying, you don't want that. Commentator just having a moment. So Adam Cesplar wins this race. I mean, wow, how close that was. Francesco Adamu second, Martin Vesely third, Alex Alfonso fourth, Kiko Gallo fifth, Dominic Illinger sixth, Liam Kelso seventh, Dmitro Yaroshenko eighth, Sami Kel ninth, and Fabian Karner was 10th. In the other results for hypercar, Stu Rogers was 11th, and he was the last running hypercar. We had a number of retirements. We had Craig Hill retire, Johannes Priest, Charlie Walker and Forrest McCormack, who we saw them battling away earlier on in the first half of the race. They unfortunately both DNF'd. Alex Benoit and Timo Braun DNF. And then GT3, dominant victory for Kasperzik. It's a, I think it was a 20-odd second gap in the end to Kravic in P2, Gabriele Bassi third, Joseph Chada fourth, Patrick Den fifth, Adam Sharp sixth, Nigel Longden seventh, Rudy Vermeulen eighth, Johnny Gilchrist ninth, and Peter Davison. Bit of a lonely race for him down in 10th position. I don't know how to digest that. That was a cracking race. Chris Jones, that was good action. It was lights, camera action, wasn't it? For the final lap, few laps there. That was just incredible how that gap came down and they finished the line. I'm just trying to actually flick back onto the live stream just to see how close they were coming across the line. I'm just watching it back now. So they came through parabolic. I know you can't see it on your screen, so I'm just describing it to you. So yeah, Adamu had the inside, and it was a pure drag race. Cesplar took the win by just his front bumper. It was a photo finish. A photo finish for sure. Wow. That rain coming down at the end really just sprinkled the carnage onto the track. But what a drive from the pair of them. What a drive. Right, I'm absolutely knackered after that. I'm ready for a beer. I hope you've enjoyed the race, ladies and gentlemen. Please do whack the thumbs up button. If you haven't already subscribed to Formula Racing League TV, please do so now. That's an order. Whack the subscribe button. There's a little bell icon there as well that you can hit so you can be notified every time we go live. And we've got action coming next week as well. There's plenty of other action across Formula Racing League TV to get your eyes into, your teeth into. So please do check out the YouTube channel. And if you are wanting to get involved with the racing, then check out the Discord over on Formula Racing League. They are a great bunch of lads. Not all of them. I'm joking. They are all a very good bunch of lads and girls as well. And get yourself involved in some of the racing. So that's it for me tonight. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a cracking weekend, and yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. Take care. See you in a bit. Bye bye.